Hey guys, as always, thanks for stopping by. I want to get you updated on something that I don't think a lot of folks have on their radar. I'm going to briefly walk you through it. This isn't going to be a long one, but I do think it's important to be vigilant on this one. There's a lot of fights going on right now on a lot of fronts. Oregon's a doozy right now. Just last night, a first county in the state of Kentucky has declared themselves to be a Second Amendment sanctuary, so that's really cool. But for this one, it's not going to take long. It's going to be an update on the bump stock ban appeal by the GOA, and they're currently fighting it. Y'all always ask about these shirts, my 1776 shirts. They're my favorite. There's a link down below, including a really solid coupon code. The GOA, the Gun Owners of America, of which I'm a proud member, they're fighting the federal government over the bump stock ban. You will remember the bump stock ban went through not that long ago, and folks had up until this past March of 19, to turn in or destroy their bump stocks. We all paid a lot of attention to that, but it's kind of fallen back or fallen to the side just a little bit. But the fight goes on, and fight goes on in a lot of different areas on this one. But specifically, the GOA has taken the government to task at the 6th Circuit Court of Appeals. That's in Cincinnati. They're fighting the bump stock ban. My understanding is last week in Cincinnati, it got a little bit feisty. And I've read through some of the transcript. The Courthouse News Service has a really concise overview of how the arguments went last week. I'll put a link down below if you want to read that. It's not too bad of a read. It's actually pretty well done. So you can check out how that went. But overall, they are fighting, and they being the GOA, their lawyers are fighting the ATF and the government over this bump stock ban and the idea that this piece of plastic turns an AR-15 into a machine gun. And so partly what they're fighting is the definition of what a machine gun is. That gets into the nuance and all that lawyer stuff where they're really arguing over definitions of how a machine gun is defined. Also part of it is this whole idea of ex post facto law. Fancy words, but the idea is this: a law goes onto a book and it retroactively makes people into criminals. We don't really follow that in America. Should be against the law, and that's precisely what the bump stock gun ban did. Is it made people sitting at their homes bothering nobody suddenly criminals by owning a piece of plastic. That's part of what's being argued also. Now, there's no timetable on this one on when the court is going to rule. Looks like it's going to be sometime in 2020, certainly not early 2020, but it's coming, probably coming up next year. Now, here's where I think people are already down in the comment section typing away, is they're going to get wound up about bump stocks. People have opinions. My opinion on a bump stock is I don't care about bump stocks. I've never owned one, and I never will own one. I think they're simply dumb. However, this argument is not about bump stocks. It's about freedom, and it's about the government coming in and telling us what we can and can't do. And it's really funny that we sit here in late 2019 looking at 2020 around the corner talking about bump stocks, because the argument again is not about bump stocks and what they do. Well, it is specifically about what they do, but the reason it matters, and that's my point, is about the government taking our freedoms away from us. Part of the problem is this one little piece of plastic can turn an AR-15 into a, quote, machine gun. Now, if you can take a household item, it's part of what they're arguing, a household item like a belt or a rubber band, and turn that same AR-15 into a machine gun, then the argument doesn't come to be about the rubber band or the belt or the bump stock piece of plastic. It comes down to the actual AR-15. And if that thing is what's dangerous and that's now being redefined, then we've got big, big trouble. It's not about the bump stock. It's much, much bigger than that. I believe it does have implications for all of us in the 2A community. We're watching it closely. When I know more, you'll know more. Really appreciate y'all stopping by. I'm Johnny. We'll see you soon.